Simple interest calculations. We can also manipulate the simple interest formula depending on what we want to solve for. So, for example, let's rearrange the simple interest formula to solve for the interest rate. So if we begin with I equals P R T, and we want to rearrange this for the interest rate, which is R, we would divide each side of the equation by P and T, principal and the time. And on the right-hand side of the equation, that cancels the P's, that cancels the T's, leaving us with just R. And on the left-hand side, we just have I over PT. And we could write this instead as R equals I over PT, just so that we have the nice equation with the variable first. So R equals I over PT. So we can manipulate this simple interest formula whichever way we want to solve for the variable we're interested in, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So in this example, Ben wants to buy a used car. He has $3,000 but wants $3,500 to spend. So he invests his $3,000 into an account earning 3% annual simple interest. How long will he need to leave his money in the account to accumulate the $3,500 he wants? And we're asked to answer in years and months. So a whole bunch of numbers being thrown at us. The first thing we need to do is to identify what we're being asked to solve for. And if we look into the question, we are being asked, how long will he need to leave his money in the account? That's the question. So we want to know time. So if we start with our I equals PRT equation, and we want to know time, then we divide each side by PR to cancel PR on the right, and that leaves us with time is equal to I over PR. And then to solve this equation, we just need to identify what is I, what is P, what is R. Well, to start with, we know that he's investing $3,000. So we could say that we know that P is equal to $3,000. And we know the annual interest rate is 3%, so we could say R is 0.03. But the interest, to get that, we need to consider a couple of values. We know that he wants a total of $3,500, which means the interest he needs to earn is just $500. It's the difference between $3,500, take away his initial investment. So he needs to earn $500 in interest. And now that we have those values, we can stick those into our rearranged equation. So I is equal to 500, P is equal to 3,000, R is equal to 0.03. And now we calculate, crunch those numbers in our calculator and figure out what time is. So we get that T is equal to 5.556, and I'll just round to there. Years. Our unit of time is years because R was in 3% per year. So that means that the time we got out of it has to match up with that time amount in the interest rate. So we want to answer in years and months because 5.556 years doesn't mean a lot to us. So this is equal to T is 5 years, and we need to figure out how many months is represented here. 0.556 years, converting that into months. Well, for every 1 year, there's 12 months. So multiply that decimal by 12, and we get 6.67 months, which we will round up to 7 months. So this would be 5 years and 7 months. And we should round up if we're thinking in whole month increments. If he only invests it for 5 years and 6 months, he won't accumulate that money. He'll be below 3,500. So we need to get at least to $3,500. And so this will actually end up giving him a little bit more than that. So in this next example, we're told that 3 years after investing $15,000, a retired couple receives a check for $3,375 in simple interest. Let's find the interest rate that their money earned during that time. So if we want to find the annual interest rate, that means we're looking for R. So again, I just always like to start with I equals PRT and then divide by whatever we need to be left with the variable we're interested in. But some of you will be more confident, and if you are okay jumping ahead to the to what you need for R, you're welcome to do that, but I caution you against it about jumping too far ahead too fast, because it's very easy to make mistakes and write the wrong thing divided by the wrong thing. So I recommend you just start with that initial formula and then rearrange it from there. And now we're going to calculate R. So we know the interest is 3,375. We know the principal was 15,000. And we know the time was 3 years. So we calculate that, and we get 0.075 for our value for R. And when we answer as a rate, it's better to say it, the percent is a percent and not a decimal. So we're always kind of flipping back and forth between percents and decimals. And so we could say that this is 7.5%. And if you want, you could say it per year, just to be very clear that that's the annual interest earned.